get all the impact.
Wait, did you just start it?
Yeah, I started it.
Go, just go.
Okay. So first of all, in Topicality, they said they wanted us to reduce nuclear arsenal. We're not reducing enough. We're not being specific. Well, we were. First of all, we had a number between 500 and 1,000. You're right. They didn't ask us to give us a specific number. You're right, and we're not going to be caring about it. Sorry, our solvents didn't say it, and it's too late to bring new argument stuff. So, I mean, we're giving the general idea. Very topical. This is a significant decrease from 4.5 thousand. Also, when you talk about the missions, we showed there are 5 missions. They're going down to 1. They conceded the missions thing. So, I think overall, we're going to say we're pretty topical. This minimum deterrence they say is bad for debate. We define it pretty well. We say it's 1 mission. It's between 500 and 1,000 nuclear weapons. It's the first step in the disarmament. It's a policy of no first use of modified second strike. We define it really, really clearly. They say it's this general term. I mean, if you look inside all over the evidence we read in the very first argument, we read it pretty clearly. And you can see that we've been arguing Topicality this whole time. So these aren't going to be considered new arguments at all. These are just things that we're telling you that we said, and we've been extending this whole time. Just want to point out that. Now on to this racism flow. The first thing I just want to say, soft power, sorry. The first thing I want to say is that the evidence we read was not a stereotypical Iranian viewpoint that we made through analytics. It was a poll that was taken of Iranian citizens, and these citizens voluntarily took this poll and gave their input, and this input is now being reported to you, the audience, and you, the judges. This is nothing that we tampered with. We did not modify the evidence. These polls are not manufactured by us. This is not some kind of agenda. This is just evidence supporting the fact that we're not imposing culture upon them. This has nothing to do with us saying that they need our culture, or they want to take from us, they're grabbing it from us. All we're saying is that, look, they're here, they're receptive to a changing political climate. We're not forcing it upon them, and they're willing to accept it. We're not trying to make any stereotypical views of Iranians of the Middle East. We just want to make sure that's pre-understood, because while they didn't say, look, you guys should lose the debate because you're racist, we just want to clarify that we're not racist, and the soft power argument, this evidence we read, is credible. It's from credible sources. It's from 2007, 2008, and just because of that, I don't think that classifies us as being racist, and we shouldn't have to justify losing the debate because of the fact that we read evidence. So I'm just going to move on here and say that even if they say this Gustafson evidence persists, I'm going to point out right now, I'm going to point out right now that if that's true, even if we are racist and this Gustafson evidence persists, we're going to do some impact calculus, because this is my favorite part of the debate. We get to weigh things. The impact calculus, they read one impact for their Gustafson flow. This was war, not global war, not nuclear war, not elimination, extinction war, just war. It's just war. It's happened before. We've survived. We've moved on. We've been peaceful. War might happen. We'll get over it. We'll solve these problems. You know, there are problems of this Gustafson evidence after that. You know, the Civil War kind of showed that. If it happens, it's just war. Now let's look at our impacts. First, on the primacy, which they dropped completely, superpower war. Great power nuclear warfare, perception-based conflict will fuel arms race, accidents, and unauthorized use. Superpower war with nuclear weapons. Millions of people dead. Also, primacy will inevitably collapse, and because of this, we're going to fall from our grade. But in the first place, I'd like to point out that this primary advantage is what's solving for the racism in the first place. Because of the fact that this primary advantage that we've read here, that's fancy, and you see it, this evidence actually is a form of multipolarity, which we read in this evidence, and multipolarity means we are sharing power with other people in the world. And now what they're saying is we're hoarding it for ourselves, this Western European idea, but multipolarity says we're bringing the superpowers, we're bringing the countries up to the same level. We're not up here. Primacy is like, we're way up here, no, we're down here. And now we're like all in the middle. We're all sharing power together. And if we're doing that, we can't be racist. I mean, their evidence is the binary activity between nations should be trusted with nuclear weapons, and those who shouldn't demeans the third world peoples and justifies destructive. But we're not demeaning them, we're bringing it down. We're not even decreasing our own weapons, we're bringing them up. We're sharing power with everyone. This is primacy, that is our advantage, is that we're getting rid of us being up here, we're bringing everyone together. We're solving for racism, we're solving for nuclear war. This is a great thing we got going on here. And then, this is my favorite part, is that they didn't talk about this, they conceded DARPA, and they didn't talk about our linear impacts. Now we read this link that says, increasing peaceful nuclear energy key to preventing climate change, world safe. And then, climate change causes super hurricanes, worldwide disease, famine, collapses of ocean ecosystems, and war and risk to human survival. So we're solving for the environment. We're not only solving nuclear war, we're doing great things for the planet. We're giving people homes. We're stopping things like Hurricane Katrina. It's awesome. I don't see that, there's any negative things going on here with the app. There's all this great stuff happening. We're avoiding all of these wars, and even if they can, there's a chance that we're racist, they have one war and it's over. Whereas we're talking about global destruction, environmental failure. The world's going crazy places. Like the H word, which I'm not going to say because I said in the last debate. I think it's inappropriate. And all of these things put together is like we need to avoid. So you can obviously see that stopping this North Korean proliferation, which once again, not racist, stopping this proliferation, stopping this war in Asia. We're stopping us from falling from grace into a hard landing zone. Countries going ballistic because they're like, we have the power you once had. We're punishing us, we're avoiding this with our privacy advantage. And then we're saving the environment by avoiding these nuclear weapons and putting them into the nuclear energy, which is sustainable. And then with, 30. Oh, 30. We solved the spectator K, they conceded that, but we don't have any of this K going on. And we solved this topicality issue of A spec and T. So it seems to me there's no reason not to vote for the affirmative, save the planet, and avoid nuclear wars. It's great. I'm just gonna say thank you all for coming and watching.